Your defeat has been predestined. It is written in the sands.
Temporal magic. Ugh. Boresome.
The sands tells Lolly.
How is it you can control time and still lose? Weak. Pathetic.
Your final trial begins. My service is finally over. And my service continues. The Wildwood's power is mine! This is not the end. Chaos. We that dreamed. We in nightmare. We that are one. We watch. We wait. We that fail. Believe me, you will fall, Exile.
More mana! Too soon!
So patient. Keep your precious sanity, my agent of chaos. You shall serve me whether you like it or not. I'm not going anywhere.
You are too late. The fourth edict already burns for your world. Her only salvation is written in ash. The Mother Soul must.
A gift from fate.
Hey guys, so I'd like to take you through the gear of the character you just saw in the previous showcase. Before I get too much into it, I'd just like to give a shout out to Kaiba. I will link his Twitch in the description below, as well as his Max Roll build guide he put together for this. My current build is obviously not nearly as invested as his, but it's on its way there and it's doing pretty decently, so I thought I'd make a showcase for it. Currently a level 94 Infernalist with 3.8k ES. When mapping, I've got Grim Feast on, so that is usually about double. 1.5k life, half of which is reserved. Res capped. Chaos Res could use a bit of work, but the boots I'm using over here when mapping give a bit of extra Chaos Res, but that can use a bit of work. Also, as you can see over here, We do have a decent amount of rarity. When mapping, we've got 192 rarity. So just following what everybody's doing currently with getting as much rarity as possible where you can fit it in. So, for equipment, we're using a Trench Timber in our non-scepter weapon, which is +3 to all minion skills. This can be evolved to +4 to all minion skills if you are extremely lucky or have a higher budget. That is one of our upgrade paths. For the helmet, we're just using +2 minions, rarity, some int, and some ES. That's about it. For our scepter, it's a +5 to all minion skills mainly, as well as a very high amount of spirit. As you can see over here, I've got 1 spirit remaining, so it is pretty tight. As a nice just little additional bonus, we've got a bit of crit damage for our minions, as well as a bit of elemental res. For our amulet, we've got a +2 minion skills, 45 spirit, as well as some attributes we need and a bit of rarity. We're currently allocating Deadly Swarm, which gives our minions a bit of increased damage, crit hit chance. Obviously, one of our next upgrade paths as well would be to get a +3 all minion skills amulet, but that's a little out of budget for now. For the body armor, decently high ES, 50 spirit, with some chaos res and int. Not much to say there. For our belt and rings, this combination alone almost gets me to res cap. I just need 9% lightning res more, and I will be at res cap. But to go over them quickly, as you can see, a lot of res, rarity, life, spirit. Most important being your res, then spirit, then rarity, then life. Same thing over here. And of course, all multiplied by 1.76 for the ingenuity. For the gloves, not much to speak of there. It's just some ES, rarity, int, some res, which I don't need at all. I'm not even sure why I've got it on there. I can definitely get a better pair of gloves. For boots, for bossing, where we don't care about movement speed as much, and it's going to be still and we're just trying to burst down the boss as fast as possible, these are the best in slot for sure. I'm not sure if you can involve the undead minions reservation, but if you can, that would most likely be best in slot. But yeah, so undead minions have 20% reduced reservation. As you can see, it makes a big impact on the amount of minions that we can have. We go from 16 Skeletal Frost Mages and 1 Storm Mage to 23 and 1 instead. Okay, then for the gems. In my offhand, same as my previous build, I've got a +6 staff over here with Sigil of Power, linked to magnified effect. The Skeletal Mages do benefit from that. My Hound, I've got linked to Meat Shield for a bit of extra life, Fire Exposure, Fiery Death, Culling Strike, and Wildfire. Skeletal Frost Mages are linked to Arcane Tempo, Cold Mastery, Minion Mastery, Scattershot, and Feeding Frenzy. These last two are for my single target setup. If I was mapping, I'd swap in Wild Shards for Feeding Frenzy and Fork for Scattershot. This just helps with the clear quite a bit, but there is a noticeable drop in single target, so just keep that in mind. Then I have Skeletal Storm Mages. I've got one of them to provide our shock on the boss. It is linked to Stormfire, Lightning Mastery, Overcharge, and Conduction. So the Conduction is for 100% more chance to shock. The Stormfire is nice because shocks from supporter skills do not expire on ignited enemies. Because our Infernal Hound always ignites an enemy, this means that our shock will never expire. So that lets us take Overcharge, which gives us 75% increased magnitude of shocks, but 50% less shock duration, which we now don't worry about. As I mentioned before, I've got Grim Feast for mapping, Flame Wall just for a bit of extra damage for the projectiles, linked to Fortress and Spell Cascade, Hypothermia for Cursed Ground for helping when setting up on the boss, which is linked to Heightened Curse, Focused Curse, Cursed Ground, and Inspiration because of the mana cost. My Eye of Winter is there to apply a critical weakness, as well as Cold Exposure from this gem over here. So Cold Exposure, Unleash, Acceleration, and Strip Away. Then we've got a Pain Offering, which is a massive part of our damage. Currently it's linked to persistence to last a bit longer. Ablation, which basically takes away from our life, so I usually pot after clicking this, but it increases the effect by quite a lot. Dance Macabre, which now kills 2 of our minions, but again, more buff effect, more damage, very much worth it. And Font of Blood for just a bit of extra life regen to help recover from the damage you take from Ablation. Finally, on my, as with every build basically, on my offhand, I've got Blink enabled to traverse faster. Now, just to show you what the mapping setup will be, if I put in my boots, I will enable Grim
Feast on
Feast,
flesh!
and my minions will look like this. If I lower them, should be at, there we go. 16, 1, and Grim Feast, with 2 spirit remaining. Okay, as for the tree, we're an Infernalist, we're taking Better Hand for more ES, Better 12 for more Spirit. That's Alter Flesh is obviously mandatory on the way there, as well as our Hound. Okay, as for the tree, this is what we've got. Some ES, minion damage, minion life, minion reviving faster, etc., cast speed, as you can see over here. Now currently this build is, or this tree I should say, is very much focused towards getting jewel sockets, as you can see. Currently I don't have very good jewels, just some ES damage, crit, etc. Eventually at the higher budget you switch to Adorned with some magic jewels instead, and we will drop this over here and path towards these jewel sockets instead, again allowing us to just boost the Adorned effect even more. Cool, and I think that's it. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the video.